Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids, subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. Thank them for their continued support of the Indiana State Police Roadshow. Thank Tom Trial, a behind-the-scenes man that puts us on YouTube each and every week. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office, and I'm your host for the show. With me today is Trooper Pat Etter with the Indiana State Police Special Operations / SWAT. How you doing, Patrick?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming in, and appreciate what you guys are doing again this year with the Christmas for Kids, the Trooper Bartram Memorial Foundation. We're going to talk about this during our time with the Indiana State Police Roadshow. We were just talking before on the air. This has been going on for quite a few years, hasn't it?
Well, as a separate foundation, this is our third year, but it's been going on since really 1999.
Yeah.
After Trooper Bartram was killed in the line of duty, and then his family started that fundraising and was donating that money to the Indiana Troopers Association, and they called it the Bartram Christmas for Kids, and that money went throughout different places in the state for the ITA to do their version of Shop with a Cop.
Right. And then 3 years ago, you guys decided to kind of go off on your own, and it's turned out well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's grown every year. So last year's ride the ride is always or will be now always the first Saturday after July the 4th.
And that's the motorcycle ride you're talking about.
Motorcycle ride, and that's the one big event we do to raise funds for our Christmas event, which is this year's December 3rd. So the ride, we had great weather this year. I believe we had somewhere in the area of 70 or 80 bikes.
Yeah, I know it's growing every year.
Yeah, we did a poker run style this year and had 5 stops at different locations, and we get donated items to auction off, and that's what raises the majority of our money. And we did pretty well this year, enough that Kim wants to take 175 kids shopping.
All in one day, all in one morning.
I tried to cap that at about 125, and
Kim's went off a rocker, hadn't she?
Add on to it. I think she's bound and determined to get to that 200 number one of these days. And
well, I know last year when we were doing it, and it was at the same place, right? Or was it?
Last year we went to Greenwood Walmart.
That's right.
Walmart's a big supporter. They give us a lot of grant money, and various stores do all throughout central Indiana. We've probably had 10 or 11 Walmarts that actually give us different grants through their foundations and stuff. And this year we're going back to the Canby Walmart. They were gracious in some other big grants, and they actually got a really good facility for it because they have a separate outdoor living center. That's their garden center type thing, and they give us that whole entire big room.
Great.
There's 4 registers, and we can kind of separate ourselves back in there and have our little program. And plus we're 175 kids, give or take, and then I need at least 100 officers, so it starts getting pretty crowded in there.
Yeah, I know last year we were there, and the media was there, and Trooper Teddy was there, and the robot dog was there, and you guys have donuts in the morning, you have orange juice and coffee and everything, and it's a party atmosphere, and the kids really enjoyed it. The
Walmart supplies some snacks and donuts and things for breakfast in case the kids, a lot of these kids are don't get to eat breakfast sometimes, and or lunch and things like that. So there's some snacks there and some coffee for the officers, keep them awake and keep their wits about them.
Do you know how many kids you done last year? Remember that number?
I believe we were around 140 last year. I believe there's some didn't make it that we took the next weekend. Meyer also had stepped up and gave us quite a bit of money, and we took some other kids and families to that store, and that was just kind of the Bartram family and myself and a few police officers did that one. And they're doing that again this year too. So we're actually doing December 3rd at the Walmart is our big event, and the next weekend after that we'll be taking some other families to the Meyer.
Wow.
So yeah.
You're going to have probably up over close to 200 kids in that way.
We may get up to that number. And this year we've partnered with Helping Hands for Freedom. And Darren Fishburne and Patrick Shannon run that group, and it's a foundation that benefits military families and stuff. And they were building a big retreat this year. I believe it's out in Arizona, and they did that walk across America. I think you're familiar with
Right.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where David Roth did that and
Yeah.
walked from one end of the country to another, raising money for that. And
Yeah.
we decided that instead of donating cash to them through our foundation, we decided to sponsor all of their kids that they have. So I believe those 50 kids that they're bringing through their organization, Kim wanted to pay for that. So we've had to do a little extra raising of funds this year. We're still working on it. So, we're still we accept donations anytime, but we're trying to do some last minute fundraising to get us above that mark, because we spend about $125 on each child. Usually we go over that a little bit, but so that times nearly 200, it's up there.
So anybody that's available, I'm sure on December 3rd, officers' families, FOPs,
Yep. I encourage
firefighters, EMS.
I encourage all those. We've sent out tons of emails asking for some volunteers and some help, and I'd like to have, of course, a police officer for every family there. And some of the kids are brothers and sisters, and one officer may be able to take both of them, but it'd be nice to have an officer for nearly every child there. And so I need at least 125 officers. It'd be nice. And I've encouraged them to bring their kids and their spouses and their family members, and we have a ton of leftover Bartram Ride T-shirts that they can wear if they want to show their support since they don't have a uniform. And then, a lot of civilian employees of the state police have stepped up, and sheriff's departments and police departments, and I told them, I said, wear a police polo or something like that, and just to show your support for your agency. And then the Bartram Foundation has a lot of separate volunteers and family, and so does Helping Hands for Freedom. So we should be okay, but the more the merrier.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, and it's really humbling to see what goes on, and the people that show up and the people that help out. And what gets me every year amazes me, and this happens every year, is people shopping and they're going, what's going on? And you'll tell them, and they'll start handing you cash.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, and they'll say, well, I want to donate to your cause. And so some of the volunteers will have some donation buckets, and people will put in there. And usually the officers will go over that $125 mark, and they'll just throw that extra money in there themselves. I've seen them buy entire bicycles before, loading into cars. It is well over their amount that we try to, spend, but we'd like to spend a lot more, but we make that money go as far as we can, and it's all tax exempt, and Walmart gives us some special deals, so that $125 goes a long way.
Well, again, we're talking with Trooper Pat Etter with the Indiana State Police Special Operations on the SWAT team, but he's been with the Trooper Bartram Memorial Foundation for 3 years now.
Since it started,
since it started here, and we want to get that email out, or the email. What is that?
Well, the website is bartrammemorial.com.
Yeah, not email, the website.
It's got all the information on there. It's got pictures from all the rides and last year's Christmas events that are kind of neat to look at. Connie Etter Photography comes up, and my sister-in-law, and she takes hundreds of pictures, and somehow they get them all put on that website. And
not with any help from Willie.
No, not at all.
She does it in spite of
Luckily,
Willie. That's what
people that know how to work a computer better than me.
Yeah, she does a wonderful job putting that out there. And so that's www.bartrammemorial, all one word.com. Yes. And then the Helping Hands for Freedom, all one word.org.
Yes.
Is another website that you can go look at, that you guys are working on this with, to do this on December 3rd. Now, do they have to, or do you guys like to know in advance? Could they email you or get a hold of you?
I've had a lot of officers email me, say, hey, I'm showing up and I'm bringing my family, and I'll keep a list of that, so I got an idea if I need a lot more people, and I'll do a last minute push, or we'll do a last minute push anyway for volunteers. But they can go to the website and even send an email to us to say they're coming, or just show up that day. You don't need to tell me. Just be there at about between 9 and 9:15 at the Walmart in Canby, which is down State Road 67, It's between Indianapolis and Mooresville.
8191 Upland Way, Canby. Yeah, like you say, on 67 there. Just put in the Canby Walmart.
Yeah, just show up around 9:15. The kids we will have come around 9:30 and let everybody kind of hang out for a while, and then we'll get shopping right around 10 o'clock, hopefully, once we do a little program and stuff.
And somebody we kind of left out here, but we're doing this with the Helping Hands for Freedom, is the military personnel also.
Right. Yeah, Helping Hands for Freedom will bring military personnel to shop with the kids too, and we'll have some fire trucks there, some police cars.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be a nice day. Like the weather's been really nice, and hopefully it'll continue, and so the kids can go out and look at some of the vehicles and apparatus we have, and Helping Hands for Freedom brought that boat the one year that they were taking veterans that come out with what they'd have some issues and take them out fishing and things like that. So they do a lot of good for the military families.
Now, I'm sure you have too. Do you have kids that come back every year with the same officers?
There's some kids that
they request those officers, and
that do come back, have been back before, that because of their circumstances,
exactly.
They're just not quite able to get out of that the situation they're in or their families are, and they do come back, and I know Dana Harshman was one of them that child had come back the next year and they needed some help too, and she saw Dana and wanted to go with Dana, and so they kind of bond with certain kids, and this year Ginger Marshall, a trooper with our department, worked a pretty hard, tough case, and these kids really needed some help, and because of their circumstances, their mother they don't have any means. Yeah, any means, and so Ginger's actually picking those kids up and bringing them with her because they don't have a car either, and I encourage the parents to come with the kids too.
Yeah,
I learned from when I've done this many years, and I remember one year I had probably a 4-year-old girl, and so they hand me the sheet with all of her clothes sizes and things like that, and I'm looking at it thinking,
how many kids do you got, by the way? Like 0, right?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, what in the world is a size 4? And all these different sizes.
So you're back in the fishing equipment looking, right?
Yeah. I'm asking people what this means, and this little girl is just staring at me like,
let's go.
So I encourage the parents to come. Plus, it helps some of the smaller kids, put them at ease with an officer.
Yeah.
And it does the parents some good too sometimes. And so it allows the kids and the officers to kind of just bond a little more instead of worrying about picking things out. And mom and dad can help pick things out while the officer is talking to the child and walking around with them. And
well, the parents got to know specifically what kind of clothes they like too.
Exactly. What they like, what their sizes are.
Yeah, what they don't like.
And what they need.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing, is what they need. We try to buy clothing. We do get some toys too.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing a toy drive where we're going to park a couple police cars outside of the stores, and people can buy a new toy and donate to the Bartram Foundation, and then on that day we'll hand out toys to all the kids too, on top of the clothing that they get. So
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Well, again, let's go over one more time. The date, Saturday, December 3rd, 2016, at the Walmart in Canby, Indiana. The address is 8191 Upland Way in Canby, State Road 67 at Heartland Crossing. You're going to try and take about 175 kids, which I know last year when you said you probably had 125, that place was hopping. It was
it was crowded.
Yeah, it was crowded. And this, I think you said, is going to be a little bigger this year, a little more area friendly.
Yes.
But so we need police officers, fire, EMS, military to show up and help us out with this Christmas.
They contacted me yesterday. They'll be there.
Good.
And, anybody that'd like to come, no matter where you're from. So
good.
We appreciate the help.
Yeah, and it's a great event. And I tell you what, it's heartwarming. You go away there feeling a little better about the world, about yourself, and how things are going. So thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll push it out. We'll get some help there. It'll be a fun day.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, subsidiary Christmas for Kids this year, December 3rd. So make sure to mark your calendar and be there and help out. Thank you for listening to The Road Show. The Road Show is out.